Wow, good news, Meek Mill fans. He might be getting out early. I don't like to keep putting that notion out there for people. Let me just give you the facts of what we know. It's a great possibility that Meek Mill could become a free man sooner than later. The Philadelphia Inquirer reported a story that District Attorney Office in Philadelphia actually compiled a list of officers who could possibly be corrupt, and one of those officers on the list was somebody involved in a Meek Mill arrest case. This writer's story in the Philadelphia Inquirer said that they have a history of lying, racial bias, brutality, and they do it in a move to block them from testifying in court. Reginald Graham is the officer's name on the list, but he's also associated with Meek. In 2007, he was the arresting officer for Meek, who had violated his probation on a drug and gun charge. The list isn't available to the public as of yet, but the intent was to be a guide for the district attorney's office to see who was crooked and who was not. Now, this is what they said about the list. The list was intended for all eternal use as a guide to determine when a potential tainted officer's testimony should be used. If he's a tainted officer, why would you use his testimony? But alright, let me stop. Under the office policy, frontline prosecutors were instructed to get top-level permission before calling such an officer. Prosecutors, according to the sources, did not want to release the list out of concern for the officer's privacy, rights, and the broad impact it might have on past convictions involving the officers. Anyway, to make matters worse, Meek's lawyers was not initially aware that Graham was on the list. Well, you ain't do your job, lawyer. This concerned as a key break in the Meek case. Because here it is. Meek's lawyers were not informed and told that Graham was on it. Prosecutors acknowledged the existence of the list also was kept from attorneys from hundreds of past defendants arrested by the officers of the district attorney's office had identified as tainted. Former narcotics officer Jeffrey Walker stated that he would actually steal with Graham while they were both on the force. So you got a narcotics officer who already said, hey man, I used to steal with homeboy. That to me is pretty crazy, don't you think? He came flat out. I would steal with Reggie Graham, said former narcotics officer Jeffrey Walker, who was convicted of police corruption and spent 2 years in prison. There was stealing in what was the whole squad, but these are the people I basically breaking bread with. Yeah, he's telling. So, wow, he crooked. Who else is crooked? And meanwhile, Meek Mill is currently serving 2 to 4 years behind bars. Will this help Meek's case? I mean, it gives his lawyers something else to complain about and yell about. So maybe. But that just shows you Philadelphia is pretty dark and corrupt. And there's a lot of brothers in there who probably want to come home. And this is very damaging to the police force that they have down there. And they need to be investigation from the bottom up. Not because of Meek Mill, because of what has been presented. So, in all this Meek need to come home, a lot of brothers need to come home. They need to reinvestigate as many cases as they can with this much corruption going on. I'm out.